Hello, I'm Glen Hiemstra, founder of futurist.com. Welcome to this short sample of my keynote speaking.
Now, if you look at this model, you'll see the preferred future also has one little tiny portion of it which is outside the possibility cone. It's my favorite part. It's the part of the vision that everybody in the room laughs at and says, that's impossible, you can't do that. But you already pointed out that probably the visions that made the biggest difference in this area historically were the very visions that most people laughed at and said, well, that one is impossible. That's the one that you'll never do. But sometimes you figure out how to do those. And so give yourselves permission to think not just about things that you think are possible, but even dream the impossible if you want to. And the sign said, the train takes exactly 21 seconds to pass this crossing, whether you're on the tracks or not. And as he retold that story, for him it captured 4 alternative responses to the future, which I want you to think about this afternoon. One response is to get on the tracks and try to stop the future from happening. The odds are against you. The 4th response is to get on the train, move ahead to the engineer's compartment, and help to steer or control the train. Imagine in front of you an array of tracks and switches and an ability to choose which track you're going to go down and how fast you're going to go. That is the response that I think of as inventing the future. Why is this an important question? It's a fun question. It's a kind of entertaining question. What is your image of the future? But it's a vital question. Here's why. Our images of the future, whether it's the future that we expect to happen that we want to get ready for, or the future that we're afraid might happen that we would like to try to avoid, or the future that we would prefer to have happen, the future we'd like to create, whatever that image is, exerts an influence over the choices and the decisions that we make today. We're sitting around tables 20 years from now and saying, you know, life is really quite different than it was back there in the year 2001. What is it that we'll be talking about? Well, think about how we organize life in the 20th century, the century that we all grew up in and are quite familiar with. We organized life into around certain pillars. And these pillars were, in truth, relatively unique to the 20th century, but they became so much a part of our lives, they were so much a part of our lives, that we take them for granted. We, in a sense, assume that this is the way life has always been. And, of course, in history it's not true, but these are the 5 pillars. Everyone will have a job. In the 21st century, what's replacing jobs is stints. And I'll talk a little bit about that. In the 20th century, we'll retire when we reach a certain age, and we'll live the rest of our life in Palm Springs playing golf. And we'll never work again. A 20th century invention which is changing already and is certainly going to change in the next quarter century. We will live in a home that is isolated from where we work. A whole new thinking about homes that grew up in the 20th century. The government will solve all large social problems. And learning will take place in schools. Houses became, in the 20th century, an aberration of what homes were for the whole of human history for tens of thousands of years as we understand it. What did your house become in the 20th century? Whether it's an apartment or a large mansion, it doesn't matter. Our houses became a place where we eat on average 1 meal a day, we sleep, and we store our personal possessions. Right? That's what houses are. And that's an aberration of what houses were for tens of thousands of years. Houses were the center of life. Where you were born and where you died, where you were taken care of when you were sick, where most learning took place, where most entertaining took place, and of course where most work took place, whether it was in the back 40 or the shop downstairs. But in the 20th century, we separated houses from where we work, and we made them this place where we eat a meal and we sleep and we store our possessions. So our lifestyle is mostly like this, and this is true for a majority of people in the United States. We all get up about 6 or 6:30 in the morning, and we get in a vehicle, and we travel about, the U.S. average is 22 minutes, to this place where we work. Now, I'm sure it's true for everybody in this room, and it's true for a majority of people who work in the U.S. What do we do for about 8 hours? Well, basically, we talk to each other on telephones, we have little meetings with each other, and we pick up pieces of paper and we hand them back and forth. Right? And we do that for about 8 hours, and then we get in our vehicle and we travel back to our home, where, what do? We eat our 1 meal, we stare at our possessions for about 2 hours, and then we sleep. And the odd thing is, right, isn't that's life in 2001. And the strange thing is, we think, man, this is really living. People never had it so good.